Hello students, this is Philip Barnes again, and today we're looking at fossils. So first of all, let's practice our pronunciation. So turn to the handout, and if we look at the section 2 for vocabulary, first word underlined in number 1 is clinging. Yes. Okay, and who wants to read number 2? Very good. And number 3, we pronounce that word sequence. Sequence. So I'll just use the app. So in this case we'll select vowels, look at the E sound, and E. So this shows you the inside of the mouth as you're forming the words. You can play that on your app, and that should assist you with the pronunciation. Sequence. Sequence the genetic material. Okay, Alphonse, you want to try number 4? That's very good. And Sarah, number 5. Yes, suspend. That's very good, suspend. And that will do for our pronunciation. So now we want to find the answers to some questions by listening. We'll listen to a video. We'll listen for the answers here. Part 3. We're looking for the answers to the spaces. What words will fill the space here? There are something of types of fossils. So we'll listen to the video.
Preserved in stone. While there are hundreds of fossil types,
Okay, did we hear that? There are hundreds of types of fossils. Next. To find the information, we want to listen to keywords. Keywords. We should hear the answer somewhere around the keyword. So our next sentence, trace fossils show how an animal behaved. Something are an example of this. So what are we looking for? Mention of trace fossils. When they mention trace fossils, our answer should be announced shortly thereafter. So let's have a listen to the recording, and we'll wait to hear the keyword. Okay, so we're listening now for example of trace fossils. Listening.
fossils are remnants or impressions of ancient organisms that are naturally preserved in stone. While there are hundreds of fossil types, they are often grouped into 2 major categories: body fossils, which are the preserved remains of plants and animals, and trace fossils, which are records of an animal's behavior, such as footprints. Together, they form the fossil record.
Okay, did we hear that example? Just go back a bit, listen again.
the preserved remains of plants and animals, and trace fossils, which are records of an animal's behavior, such as footprints.
Such as Alphonse? No? Sarah, did you hear that? Petrov. Footprints. Yes, very good. An example of footprints. Let's have a look for our next listening. So what we are looking for here, there are also two major categories of body fossil. Sometimes an organism is not something by the fossilization process, and the specimen shows its original form and something. Alright, so we know the answer is going to come after they start talking about two major categories of body fossil. So something happens to the organism, sometimes something does not happen, sometimes an organism is not harmed by the fossilization process, and the specimen shows its original form and something. Okay, we'll listen again. Now we might also have visual clues to what the answer might be.
Fossilization, or the process of preserving organisms in stone, can occur in countless ways. These methods are largely grouped depending on whether the organisms are altered during the fossilization process.
Okay, do we see two categories here? Yes, Sarah, that's very good. Altered and unaltered. So which might be the one? Listen a bit more.
Fossilization that does not alter a specimen can help to preserve its original form and texture.
Okay. So what did you hear there? Altered or unaltered? Yeah, a little bit tricky because the question says that is not altered. Alright? So if it's not altered, you might get to see its original form and word meaning the surface, what the surface looks like, what the surface feels like. Yes, texture, very good. So let's have a look at the next listening. So let's read. Okay, that's very good. Someone else would like to read? Okay, this type of fossil includes animals and plants that have been something, preserved in tar pits or mummified. So we'll listen for the information here.
These methods are largely grouped depending on whether the organisms are altered during the fossilization process. Fossilization that does not alter a specimen can help to preserve its original form and texture.
Okay, so there we had texture, and now we're listening for...
Among many methods, this group includes organisms that have been frozen, preserved in tar pits, and mummified. One such...
So what was the word we're looking for? Frozen. Excellent. Alright, so you can do the rest yourselves. The link to the video is in your notes, and remember you can pause and go back, listen for it again, and you can also use the subtitles. You can turn them on so you can read to get the clue. Once you read it in the subtitles, you should then turn the subtitles off